Howdy folks, Dreadshells here, and welcome back to World of Tanks. I hope all of you had a great 4th of July weekend and that you were able to spend time with family or friends and celebrate the weekend in some way. Just kick back and relax, and maybe going up to the lake and going fishing, or spending some time working on a hobby, whatever it is. Besides World of Tanks is, of course, since we all share that in common. I want to show you guys this video here today in my WZ-131 on Mountain Pass for a few reasons. One, I want to show this video to illustrate how it's very important to understand your role on the battlefield. A lot of times people get stuck in this one-dimensional mindset where they think that they always have to play their tank class exactly the same way, like all the tanks of that class the same way, on whatever map and whatever the composition is, and whatever is going on in the battle, which is just a really bad way to go about it. You need to basically do whatever you can to help your team win. And of course, you are faced with the limitations and strengths and weaknesses of your tank, of course, so you have to play them to the best of your ability. But there's always something you can do to be flexible and adapt to the situation. So beyond that, you have to rely on the help of your teammates, and whatever happens. So anyway, I'm on this game on Mountain Pass, Tier 8 game, although it's not really a Tier 8 game as far as a lot of tanks. There's only 4 Tier 8s on each side. So this is practically God matchmaking, I like to call it, when not only are you top tier in the matchmaking, you're basically almost the only top tier. So right away, given the map that I'm on and the tiering that I'm in, I'm not really going to play this match like I'm going to be a Vision a scout. I'm going to play this like I'm a medium, basically, and try to do the spotting in between where it's relevant. One, because Mountain Pass doesn't have a lot of long-range vision opportunities early, and even mid-game onward, you're extremely limited in your long-range vision opportunities, so you need to focus on doing damage. So that's what I did here. So let's just start the game before I ramble on too much longer. So at the start of this game on Mountain Pass, from the north spawn, I like to go to a bush right in front of the E2 rock here. They unfortunately removed that bush up there to my left, right on the edge before the valley, several patches back, so unfortunately you can't use that to spot anymore. There are some trees there, but it's very easy to get spotted, especially when the enemy scouts or any tanks at all YOLO into the middle bowl area. It's very easy to get spotted, and you won't usually be able to retreat back into cover again before you're shot up pretty bad. So I like using this spot because even while you can't spot absolutely everything crossing there, you get a decent amount of spots usually. We're able to pump in several shots so far on these tanks crossing. We put a couple into the T-3485 and the SU-100Y there. I am aware of this Chaffee on the ball below me, and I'm ready to run away as soon as he peaks. I was thinking that the Chaffee was going to crest higher there and get me spotted, so I decided just to take the half-aim shot, that is, and then get into cover. But right at the beginning of the game, when I looked behind me to see the dispersion of my team, I noticed that a huge number of my team were heading down the ice road to the north, and that we didn't have a huge presence to push around on the western flank there on the 1-2 lines. So I didn't even bother pushing down south after I got the mid spots, And I was expecting this to happen in this game, right? It's always important to try to predict as best as you can what will happen before it happens, and then that will let you make better and better decisions in a game. I knew that because our team had no presence there, eventually the enemy team would wrap around here. So I decided to relocate. I'm actually on our Arty hill at the moment, but I'm getting really good sniper support for our tanks down there in F2 that are holding that line. They're out-tiered there, that Jumbo and that KV2, but as long as they keep their heads down, I can support them. A little trick that I'm using here, I'm using this rock to keep me in cover from that bulldog that's in the middle there. Trying to sneak and see if I can get a shot on in the E25 here. I was going to try and climb up that slope to see if I could get some better elevation and angle, but the bulldog there spotted me. But I'm going to use the same trick here again. Don't expose yourself to multiple angles of fire if you don't have to, right? All I'm doing right here is exposing myself to fire from the Pershing, potentially, of course. And of course he can't even see me, but if I were to get spotted, he would be the only one that could shoot me, because I'm keeping this rock up here in front of me, in between me and the bulldog that was down in the bowl in front of me. Now that the enemy team have a huge number of tanks there, and I notice that we killed the E25 and the bulldog left the middle there. That's very important. That's why I decided to come over here to the bridge area. Because that bulldog left the middle bowl, I don't need to stay there anymore. I'm going to trust that the KV2 and the Jumbo can hold that Pershing in the western flank for now. And now that I'm going to try and help my team on the ice road as much as possible. So unfortunately, the reason I don't like going ice road is because it's all one angle, right? It's all one lane. Everything is in front of you, and there's it's really hard to outplay your enemy by getting second angles of fire in, because it's just all in front of you. So unfortunately, that's what our team did, and you can't change what your teammates decide to do. You can try to encourage them or change their mind by communicating them in the battle, but they're going to decide to do whatever they want to do. So you have to work with what's happening. Who can only control your tank, right? So right now I'm just creating a pincer right here, right? They're pushing up on my teammates there on the ice road, but since I'm behind them, I will eventually, hopefully, start getting shots in on there. Keeping it, mindful of the Pershing there, that I could get shot from across the way over there in H3. There's a little perch there that the south spawn can use and has an advantage on from that side of the map. I decide to get aggressive here, drop down and push the tempo here. Go over gently so I don't damage myself. We're going to go for the bulldog here because he's the lower health target and he's easier to kill. Doesn't have any armor, and he potentially has a lot of damage capability with his clip. And now a little trick you can use. I don't need to look directly per se. I saw immediately that as soon as I started engaging the bulldog there and killed him, the IS turned around and started chasing me. I don't want to take that fight right now. I need to preserve my HP because we're down on tanks and we're actually out-tiered a little bit, so I need to keep my hit points in the game as long as possible. I could probably win the fight against the IS, but I would probably end up being a one-shot at the end of it. So I'd rather outplay them through mobility rather than my HP. Get the Jumbo down that was trying to cap. And now we're in a really bad situation, me and this T-34 here, because the enemy could come from 3 different directions. Well, 2, of course. When they get close to our cap, they can come from the south and they can come from the east. I do a quick peek here, not to try and get some damage, but just to see where the enemy tanks are and how they're progressing up to attack us. So now that I spotted the Pershing and that I know that he's moved up, I'm going to make another peek here. I need to get some intel. I need to know where the IS and the Sturmil are. Avoid a snapshot from the IS, and so I go up here to get a couple shots in. I'm wedging the left side of my tank on the ridge to my left to get the gun depression down so I can shoot him. I know he was reloading, so I was able to sneak in a couple shots. Little tricky here, very steep angle to try and wedge my tank down to get the gun depression, but I'm able to manage it. Now we put that Pershing within a potential one shot of the T-34 now, which really helps us out. Doing another peek on the south side of the hill here, trying to see where the Sturmil is. Now I decide I need to know what they're doing by proxy spotting them, right? So the IS is moved up. And now it's a peek and poke game, right? Everybody knows where everybody is because everyone's proxy spotted. So how you outplay your enemies in this kind of situation is you take advantage when they're not looking at you like that, and just purely outplaying them through reaction time as well. I decide to dive in front of the Pershing to take the shot for the T-34 to keep his gun in the fight. Unfortunately, he fails to penetrate the Pershing with his shot, which is really unfortunate. I think he only tracked him. So we're able to get the IS down, but it's a really sticky situation here. If they can kill the T-34, it'll be really hard for me to win this game because they have a decent amount of HP left, and I don't have enough HP to play with to out-brawl them both. Right now, I'm switching back and forth between AP and HE, depending on which target I think is going to be the most likely that I'm going to be shooting first. If I get the side of the Sturmil on the superstructure, I can pen it. One thing I've noticed with the Sturmil is that it's actually very hard to pen frontally with HE, so you need to wait till you get to the side and back to pen it with HE. Unfortunately, I had an HE round loaded for the Sturmil there, so I was only able to do a small amount of damage for the Pershing, so a misplay there. Unfortunately, the auto aim, that's the weakness of it. It puts your gun to center mass, so I bounce off the mantlet. I could have hit the side. The enemy Sturmil notices that our T-34 has fired, so he goes in to go in for the kill. I put a HE shell into him, which puts him well within the range of a one-shot for me instead of a three-shot. And now I can out-brawl the Pershing because I have the HE to spare. And we're able to kill both of them in quick succession. Just timing the reloads right. I go for the Sturmil there. When you're fighting a tank destroyer and a tank with a turret, generally if you have the mobility, you want to circle the tank destroyer and kill the tank that has the turret first, usually, if all things are equal. But in this case, I killed the Sturmil first because he was the lower health target, and he was I could get out of his gun out of the fight quicker. And once he was dead, I knew I had to reload to kill the Pershing before he was able to put 2 shots into me. I could put 2 shots into him. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this game on Mountain Pass and learned something about adapting to your role as a tank. Not just playing your tank by the class that it is. Look at the situation on the battlefield, look at what map you're on, look at your team composition. Do you have a lot of armor on your team? Do you have a lot of mobility on your team? Do you have tanks that have a lot of autoloaders or a lot of single shots or high alpha? All these things you need to combine together and analyze the enemy team as well and decide where you can be strongest for your team. And then a really good example would be how to not do it is a lot of times when I see like a third of your team being tank destroyers on cliff, like they'll all go and camp the 1-2 lines because they think, well, I'm a tank destroyer, I need to camp the 1-2 lines. No, not necessarily. So, of course, someone needs to watch the 1-2 line, but oftentimes that will be a detriment to your team because the rest of your team will be outplayed on the upper and eastern side of Cliff because they're simply outnumbered because you weren't willing to move to that side of the map. And generally, that side of the map has the more aggressive enemy players anyway, right? The 1-2 line is usually a very passive play. So, yeah. Anyway, before I continue rambling here, I'll probably wrap this up. Quick note: I got a Delang. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Delanglades medal, I think is how you pronounce it, for destroying 4 enemy tanks in the cap circle while they're trying to cap, which is the only I think the second medal that I've ever earned of that in my entire time of playing World of Tanks. So that will give you a really good idea of how rare this medal is. I have about 37,000 battles in World of Tanks, and I only have 2 of those medals. So they're extremely rare to get, and I was really happy to earn it. But also in general, before I wrap this video up, never give up on a fight. Something I need to work on myself. Sometimes I get demoralized and I give up and I say, oh, why try? There's no reason, or whatever. And I have to keep constantly reminding myself that yes, it does matter how hard you try. You may not do very well in the battle, depending on how much your teammates do and what the situation allows, but always keep trying. You never know what will happen, and that tenacious attitude will get you results like this. So hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and take care and happy hunting.